record. Okay, thanks, Crystal.
Sure. Okay, so we will do our introductions. I will start and then I will call on someone else. And then once you're done, you can call on the next person and we'll get through everyone. So my name again, Crystal Miller with Cheney Library. Upcoming events and activities. We always have lots of things happening at the library, but our Cheney Friends of the Library group is having their book sale, the first weekend of November. So if you're interested, please come and support them. And sharing a strategy that helps me calm down when I'm stressed. So I always feel like getting outside helps me a lot. And so if I can, either take a quick walk at work, or if I'm at home, I'll bring my doggies on a walk, and it always helps me. So, all righty, I will call on Megan Smedley.
Somehow I knew you were going to call me. Man. So Megan Smedley, I'm an assistant principal at Cheney Middle School. Upcoming event, we have a choir concert tonight that we're pretty excited about. The choir's been practicing in our commons area and they sound really good. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then a strategy that helps me calm down is going for a walk. Anytime we need to do that, a walk always helps. Cheyenne, you want to go next?
Yes, I can. I am Officer Cheyenne Walters. I work for the Cheney Police Department. For upcoming events, we have a trunk or treat on October 27th at Cheney Conoco. And then right now I'm also working with a local organization called War Party Ranch to try to do some further education for domestic violence survivors and regaining some of their power back. So I'm going to be working on that. For calming me down, I like to do box breathing and also taking a walk with my billion dogs. Let's see, I will go with Debbie.
Okay, I just had to figure out how to get my phone to unmute. I'm Debbie Gerber. I am my vice chair, co-chair, second chair, whatever, for the coalition. And I'm just a community member who likes to be involved in this. I think this is important. And something I do when I'm stressed out, I just like to exercise to prevent. That just helps me maintain before I get stressed out. It just gives me the power to deal with whatever comes. So that's it for me. Oh, I have to call somebody. Amanda Duggar.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Amanda Duggar. I'm with the Spokane Regional Health District. Upcoming activities that I'm working on is a survey, 3 to 5 question survey that hopefully I'll this coalition and other coalitions to ask members to take regarding their awareness of fentanyl, education trainings. Part of my work here at the health district is filling gaps, and one of them is with fentanyl. So trying to assess our community organization and agencies and where they're at with that type of strategy. So looking forward to that. And then I've been working here at the health district for 2 years. And my very first project when I started here was reamping my program's website, and it is officially done. And so I will be finally sharing that out with you all too. So probably at the same time I'll be sharing that survey, I'll be talking about the website. So I'll be connecting with you, Jessica, here in the next few months to see when I can come to this coalition and sharing those two things. Sharing a strategy that helps me calm down is I meditate every morning. And another thing is I take about a lukewarm shower when I'm stressed. Just kind of eases the stress, gets me refreshed, and then I'm back to working in. So Try to see who hasn't gone yet. I think Nick and Brenda, if you two want to go.
Sure, thank you. So I'm actually want to go first. Oh, okay. I'm Nick Henry with the Spokane County Fire District 10. The upcoming activity that we have is we are going to help participate in the Take Back Medicine event on the 28th with you guys. And for me, a strategy is just get outside, get away from stuff, clear my head. Brenda, you want?
So Brenda from Fire District 10, upcoming things, same thing. Breathing, I think is my biggest thing, is just controlling that breathing and calming down.
Okay, I don't know who's left. Is Anna left? Is she on?
Anna is on. Yes, I actually made it this time. I'm Anna de Jesus. I work for Socratic Arts. It's a as a cybersecurity mentor. We don't have any upcoming events that I can share. And a strategy that I do to help calm me down is probably draw, or doing puzzles. I like the variety puzzle books. Oh, and is there anybody else who hasn't gone?
Yes, I think Leticia hasn't gone.
Leticia.
Hi, I'm Leticia. I'm the health and wellness advocate here at the detention center in Spokane. Also a parent and community member of the Cheney Airway Heights community. We don't have any upcoming events or activities going on down here. So let's see. One thing for stress is if the bath is available, I like to take a bath or just a shower. Just like a hot shower, and then kind of like calms me down. So yeah. Cricket. I don't think you've gone.
My name is Cricket. I am the patient resources coordinator at the Chaz Clinic in Cheney. We do not have any upcoming events or activities that I am aware of right now. I know there had been I'd gotten some questions about when we were going to have the food bank back here, and unfortunately right now we don't have the schedule for 2024 yet, and they will not be here again in 2023, but next time that happens I'll make sure to let Jessica know so that we can get that kind of shared out. And then as far as a strategy that helps when I'm stressed, I have 2 small dogs, so like I go for them. If I'm stressed out, I play with them or snuggle with them, take them for a walk. Just anything with them usually helps. Let's see, Terrence, have you gone yet?
Oh, Terrence, I don't think we can hear you, or at least I can't.
I can't either.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, my name is Terrence Nelson. I use he, him pronouns. I'm with New ESD and serving at Cheney High School as a student assistant professional. And upcoming event, well, we just had the Youth Leadership Summit this last weekend, which was awesome. And getting to serve with Officer Carbaugh and talking about cyberbullying and internet safety was awesome. And I would say a strategy that I use to help calm me down when I'm stressed is Brooklyn Nine-Nine, or I go to the comedy shows that are in town sometimes. So thank you.
I think Cassandra hasn't gone yet. Trying to keep track.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cassandra Costin. I work with the Kalispell Tribe Victim Assistance Services. As of right now, we don't have any upcoming events. We're pretty busy, and right now we're currently short-staffed trying to get restaffed. A strategy that I have for stress is music. I do classical music, and then also after work, I try and do a short drive to try and separate work from home. I think Officer Johnson hasn't gone.
Can you guys hear me? I was having trouble with my audio.
Yes.
Okay, Officer Johnson, Airway Heights Police Department. Upcoming events, we have a trunk or treat at Sunset Park with the rec center, and then we're also doing the take back with the fire district and Talk to Help. Let's see. To relieve stress and stuff like that, I like to go to the gym. I also like to go outside and hang out with the family and do things like that.
Awesome. Thanks everyone for sharing out this morning. I know that took a little bit of time, but it's always nice to know who's on the call, and especially for our guests to know who they're speaking to and giving information to. So I am Jessica Deutsch. I'm the Coalition Coordinator for Talk to Healthy Choices Community Coalition. And so we will move right into our, if I can figure out how to use my computer. We will move into our guest speaker today, who is Officer Cheyenne Walters with the Cheney Police Department. She's their public information officer. I know in my email that I sent out, I had mentioned it was Chief Rick Bechtel. He is out of town, so Cheyenne may have always been the person that was presenting to us, but I didn't know that. So I apologize for miscommunicating, but definitely want to welcome Cheyenne, Officer Walters, to talk with us today about, and Cheyenne, I'll just let you go into it, but talk to us about that recent Facebook post and the good work that your department's doing.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you guys all for having us here today. I know Chief Bechtel was really upset he couldn't make it, but I'm honored to kind of spread this message and kind of pick your guys' brains too on how we can further collaborate for the issue that we're seeing in our community. So I'll just kind of go over the case in general. So on September 4th, CPD officers made a pretty big arrest. Officer Murphy and Sauvé encountered a driver who was passed out in the driver's seat at the McDonald's drive-thru. Subsequently, he was arrested for driving under the influence, and his vehicle was impounded based off of Officer Murphy's discoveries during that time. So we got a search warrant for the vehicle. 2 firearms were located, 37.68 grams of cannabis, 277 vape devices, battery packs, which targeted directly to juveniles by using cartoon characters such as Rick and Morty, The Simpsons, anime. And then there was about 1,500 vape cartridges with legal cannabis. However, the individual who's involved in this case was selling them illegally on the black market. And there was 105 sheets of cannabis product labels and marketing stickers, again, that were targeted towards children. So this was a huge case for our police department. We've seen a rise with juveniles within our community, engaging in activities such as being in possession of alcohol, marijuana, and tobacco. So to get a suspect like this arrested and in custody and get all those illegal products off the street was huge for us. Is there any questions for me?
That was really great information. Thank you for sharing that.
I have a question.
You probably want to know where the gentleman ordered or got those vape devices, would you?
So we're working right now with Liquor Control and Cannabis Board. So in regards to that, we're working with Liquor Control and Cannabis. We did track it back to a distribution center that he previously worked at. So we're working hand in hand with Liquor Control and Cannabis and that distribution center to figure out where the breakdown in communication was in regards to how he obtained all this product and was selling it on the black market.
I have a question about the stickers. Like, is that like where he could get black market things and then put stickers so it looks like it's a legal product, but it's not been regulated? Is that the danger with the stickers?
Yeah. So the stickers, it makes it look like it's a totally legal device. However, just it being targeted more towards juveniles that normally watch those shows like Rick and Morty, The Simpsons, thing like anime, it was very concerning to us to see that it was targeted more towards the younger generation, whereas, you know, college age students, older adults that use THC or vape devices, they're normally not going to go for that kind of stuff.
Sorry, one more question. The stickers, was that like the red hand, not for kids stickers, or was it for like, what kind of stickers? What can you tell us?
They were like child juvenile stickers. So like Rick and Morty, it's a cartoon TV show. So those were the stickers that were placed on the vape device for marketing.
My question would be, in the last year, is this something that has been becoming growing that you've seen in the West Plains area or in the area that you serve in? Or is this kind of like one of those things where this guy just got unlucky because he fell asleep in a drive-through?
I think we're seeing this a lot more. I'm seeing, just working day to day on patrol, I'm seeing a lot more juveniles engaged with using marijuana and tobacco, which is unfortunate. This guy was intoxicated behind the wheel, so getting a big, I don't want to say sting, but getting something like this where we were able to get all this off the street, that doesn't happen all the time to us, especially with the new laws within the state. So that's kind of where we're at, but I'm definitely seeing just a rise in juveniles engaging in that activity just by interacting with them on a daily basis. Did any of that go through?
It did. I was just wondering, like, is this like a growing trend of seeing people in the Cheney area, West Plains area, that are like specifically selling? I mean, I know people are targeting our youth with the vapes and all those different types of deals, but like, is there like people who are like, are you seeing a trend for people to specifically be targeting and gathering all these devices to be able to sell to our students? And then if that was the case, then it just, I mean, I was just thinking about like, where are they connecting with our students at, you know, to be able to do that is what I was thinking.
Yeah. So for that, I've definitely seen a lot more students in possession of them. And when they're asked, like, where do you get it? It's normally they're getting it from friends of friends via Snapchat is the biggest thing that I've seen, is via Snapchat, through meeting someone through there, whether it's Spokane Valley. So there's just a network within like their age group that's selling them, and they're somehow getting them from people that are allowed to buy them over the age of 21.
Now you said that these cartridges were with cannabis. Do you know if it's cannabis that you're seeing more with the youth in the Cheney area than that is vape juice?
Just based on my experience, I've seen a lot more students using just the regular tobacco vapes.
And when you said they got the devices from a distribution center, was that here locally in the Spokane area?
Yes, it was.
And do you know if I mean, maybe this is like info you can't share, but do you know if that's an issue with that distribution center in other cases, or is this a one-off?
Yeah, our detectives are working with liquor control and cannabis. I can say the distribution center has been super cooperative with us since we brought this to their attention and invited our detectives out to do like a formal interview with them. So they've been extremely helpful. But our investigation is still ongoing, so that could change at any moment if we get further information.
I'd be curious, also, since Officer Johnson from Airway Heights PD is on this call as well, if you have anything to add what you're seeing in your community in Airway Heights that may be different or similar.
I would say we're seeing the similar stuff, just in general. Same vapes. It seems like the kids are getting younger and younger that are using them, though. They're getting introduced to them younger and younger in age. I don't know, Cheyenne's probably seen the same thing out there too. So we kind of work all the same schools.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And then, sorry, go ahead, Cheyenne.
1 second. I'm on a Zoom call. Oh, you're okay. Sorry. Yeah, it's been pretty concerning. I've worked here for a little over 4 years, and I would say in those years I have seen the same thing that Officer Johnson's saying. It's just they're getting younger and younger, which is super concerning. I even had some juveniles like a couple months ago that had vapes, and was like, hey, like, that's not safe. It's not like I'm not going to get you guys in trouble for it, but like we should learn from it. And they're like, oh, well, everyone vapes. And I was like, okay, well, we shouldn't do that. We should really be teaching them that like the peer pressure of doing these products is very harmful to their health. So I'm happy to see like you guys are a coalition that's getting that information out there to help our youth.
I have a question. If you were to send a message to parents, what would you want parents to know based on this arrest? Or yeah.
I would just speak with your children about like the dangers of both marijuana and tobacco use as a minor, and to not let the peer pressure get to them, because we still don't know all the effects of these products, especially on young teens and I mean young kids like under the age of 12. So I just feel like talking to them about the dangers of that and just supporting them to say, hey, even if you see these products, like please do not engage in that activity because it can be very harmful to you.
One thing you also might want to do with some of your parents and stuff is encourage them to educate themselves on where the kids keep them hidden, stuff that they don't want to talk to them about, that kind of thing, because that's usually the first sign. If they're hiding stuff, they know that it's wrong, but you need to get it on the forefront so that it's a conversation that they're having all the time, so it's something that's not going to surprise them.
And I think that's helpful to know that you're seeing kids under 12 with them, so we know which parents to really target at the right age and time to try to nip it in the bud. So thank you for that info.
And I just, as somebody that works with public health and works with policy, I guess it's a good plug-in time to just strongly suggest that, I work closely with Mary Segal with the Liquor Cannabis Board on regulating our vaping policies and the ones that are pertaining to look for youth, that are youth appealing. Legislation is coming up, bills are coming out. And one of those are just talking about ones that are, enticing to our youth. Like I go into vape shops and cannabis stores constantly to keep up, and there's quite a bit that are out there, little bears that are kind of cute that youth like, little Slurpee cups as well. Everything that's kind of pertaining to youth. So I guess I just kind of strongly I can't lobby, but I can educate and I can share. So I would just say, go and check out the bills that are coming out. I always share them too as well. And then hidden in plain sight is another thing too that will be coming to Spokane. The Spokane Regional Health District will be doing that again this spring too, and that's a good opportunity for parents to educate themselves on where their youth may be hiding their items at. But thank you so much for sharing this. It's heartbreaking, to be honest with you, but I'm glad that he was able to get off the streets and all of those devices were not in the hands of our youth. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions or comments for Officer Walters? Amanda, thanks for putting that plug in for Hidden in Plain Sight, because that was one thing I was also thinking about, that the coalition has partnered with Spokane Regional Health District on last year. And definitely we can always do more work on educating parents, getting information out to school staff as well. I do know, I had heard about, and Officer Johnson, you may be able to speak to this a little better than I, but there was maybe a 5th grader, so probably maybe 12, 11, I don't know, at Sunset Elementary last year, who was putting their vaping devices on the playground, but like taping it to the pole, the flagpole, or like a basketball pole or something at the playground. And so no one really knew it was there for a while. So the kids are sneaky. I wish they would just use those really great not sneaky, but those skills, right? Use that creative side of their brain to do good things instead of hiding their vape pens around the school grounds. But yes, thank you, Officer Walters, for being here today and sharing out with us. And I'm just going to take a second to share my screen out to get back to our presentation so we can continue on with our meeting. So we are on up to Terrence to share out about his new position as the student assistance professional at Cheney High School.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Again, my name is Terrence Nelson. I'm a certified peer counselor, as well as our Cheney High School's student assistance professional, also known as a substance abuse professional. And these last 3 weeks have just been amazing. Number one, the support of the team at Cheney High School and others that are working around me has been fantastic, and just feeling like I'm part of a team. Why I do what I do is just to bring hope to people who are hopeless. A little bit about me. I struggled with addiction for about 10 years. I'm from Anchorage, Alaska, and I came here in 2010, and now I'm about to celebrate 14 years in active recovery. And through that, I've been able to work with many organizations, doing school presentations, one-on-ones, peer counseling, a lot of trauma-informed care type of things. And when the opportunity arose to come to Cheney High School, it was hands down, not even a question. So what we've been doing so far is implementing our prevention and intervention pieces at Cheney High School. And I cannot thank you enough for my predecessor, Leticia Juarez, who has laid a great foundation at Cheney High School. Just the student body there, it's amazing to see just the people, how welcoming they are to just sit down with an SAP and to know that, hey, I'm coming to you from not a disciplinary place, but a place of just, how can I support you? And I can say 100% they've been open to sharing a little bit more about what's going on home and their barriers at school, and to be able to come together and find solutions to their situations, creative solutions to their situations, has been wonderful. And as you can see here, I'm over in the counseling center at Cheney High School in room 106. Just talked with our health teacher about starting our prevention education series here in November. So we're excited about that as well. So the students that, with the student assistance professional piece, that we're connecting with are students who may have gotten in trouble or have had disciplinary actions taken if they've been caught vaping or with marijuana or alcohol, but also students who have maybe family members or have addiction around them or substance use around them, and students who are also working with our intervention specialists and our counseling team, students who are maybe, things might be going on at home and their grades start slipping, they stop showing up for school, those types of deals. And then also here towards the end of this, towards the end of the first semester, we'll start working towards launching groups as well. I had my first unofficial group, I would say, yesterday with 3 students who all got caught together, but just to be able to meet with them and connect with them and find that, you know, there are so many people that are going through our community who feel alone, who feel not connected, who feel threatened or harassed. You know, just to hear those different types of things really helps me and the team around me. I feel like to know exactly what is missing in those students' lives. And so just doing, whether it's a check-in with students in the hallway, hanging out with them at lunch, or like Jessica with the HQ table yesterday, just getting to connect with students and showing them that we are present and there, I think speaks volumes to these students. And I'm very excited to be able to work with many of you on this call, and many of you I have already worked with, but I'm very excited to continue to serve with you as we continue to be supports to our students and to empower them to make a difference in their community and in their schools. Thank you, Jessica.
Thanks for sharing out, Terrence. Does anyone that might be a little newer on the call have any questions about the SAP position at Cheney High School?
I have a question, and I probably should know this from when Leticia was in this position, but I can't remember. Does the SAP do any work at Westwood or Cheney middle schools, or is it just the high school?
Yes and no. Our focus is on Cheney High School, but I do partner with Jessica and the coalition to do some. We're working on a couple presentations with Westwood right now. The incoming freshmen, so the 8th graders at Westwood or any of the middle schools, would be something that I would love to partner with and to be able to connect with, especially just to get them, you know, meeting a person and a touch point at Cheney High School before they come over.
Leticia, did you have anything to add when you?
So like Terrence said, yes and no, but if there was like concerns for specific students at the middle schools, I would just go over there and meet with them just so they had a face when they, like Terrence said, when they end up in high school. So that's what I would do at Westwood and Cheney. Brian had a couple names, and so I met with some of those students just because there was no support there, specifically in that kind of regards. It was just regular school counselors and then their behavioral counselor, I think is what Brian is, if I'm right. Megan, is that right? Okay. So yeah, it would just be like on a needs basis when I would go, but it wasn't very often besides the other like workshops that we would do.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there at Westwood a BH SAP, so behavioral health SAP?
Now there is, yes, there wasn't one there last year.
Okay, yeah, because I met her last week. So we're gonna be connecting as well, just in case, like, if there's quick touch points that I can assist with, you know. But yeah, our primary focus is Cheney High School and then prevention with the coalition over at the middle school.
Do you know her name, Terrence?
I have it written down.
Oh, okay.
Definitely in my perfect world vision of support services, there would be a Terrence at Cheney Middle School and a Terrence at Westwood and a Terrence at Three Springs High School, and probably even a Terrence or Leticia, old Leticia, walking around the middle school or elementary schools too, right? Like providing that support. But
all we need is a teacher to volunteer to come hang out with us, and they can kind of gather what we're doing, and they can do it too.
Back. Yes. Okay, thanks.
I do have to say, Terrence, you know, he's a good friend of mine. Nice to see you. And it's great to see that we have a passionate prevention professional in Cheney. So congratulations, Terrence. I'd like to see you.
All right, thanks, Terrence. And yes, we are happy to have you. All right, so we are going to move on to our high school health helpers, which is our prevention club at Cheney High School. This month they focused on mental health awareness. So they had a fun little tabling event yesterday and interacted with their peers within their high school during lunch. And also promoting Jen Painter, who is on this call for her Tea and Talk Tuesdays. Jen, do you want to give like a real quick brief how that's going and why you're doing that?
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Jess. I just wanted to help get the word out that we have a therapist here at Cheney. I'm part of a very specific program that I talked a little bit about last meeting, the Initiative for Student Wellness. And part of that is definitely responding to mental health and needs assessment screeners that we put out to every student unless they opt out class by class. And then I will provide supports if they would like me to. I'll provide therapy. And Tea and Talk Tuesdays was just to celebrate Mental Health Awareness Month and get the kids into the space, meet me, help to normalize mental health in the schools further. And it was great. Last week we had quite a few kids come through, and I had a little spread on my desk counter space, and everyone was really into the tea, and we had some nice conversations. Some people just sat and we kind of reflected on the need and just some thoughts and curiosities and opinions on mental health and diagnosing. And so, yeah, it was really interesting. And students have been really responsive. I got to meet with my first 3 students who took the screener yesterday for the first time. That was our first time screening at Cheney. And so I got to meet with them to follow up, and it's just amazing the response that we get from the world when we open up these conversations and these spaces to people. It's like surprising and not surprising at the same time, and it's very humbling, and it's really courageous how open people can be when they feel safe. So it was humbling. It was nice. Thanks, Jessica.
Thanks, Jen. So our Prevention Club kiddos have been promoting that Tea and Talk Tuesdays. They are also taking part in concessions on Friday, Washington State Prevention Summit, October 24th and 25th, so next Tuesday and Wednesday, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the meeting. And then they will also be participating in Trunk or Treat on Friday, October 27th. And I believe this is a different trunk or treat than what Officer Walters was talking about, because this event will take place on EWU's campus, and I think hers was at Conoco. So that's interesting that there's 2 different trunk or treat events on Friday, the 27th. But does anybody have any questions about our high school health helpers? They call themselves H Cubed. They're a prevention team at Cheney High School. Okay. So
how many students are in the group so far this year?
So we have a good 15 kids that have come and go at meetings and come and go at tabling events. It's been a little difficult to kind of pinpoint a really great meeting time for the kids, because some of the kids are doing running start this year. So our early morning, like Friday 8 a.m. meetings, which is late start Fridays, wasn't working for those kiddos. So then we moved a meeting to lunches, which doesn't, kids want to be with their friends at lunch. So we're working on it. So our meetings kind of ebb and flow with members that attend. So we technically meet as a group for meetings twice a month, every other week. And then we meet additionally to work on our little tabling events or whatever information that we're getting out, or a volunteer event, things like that. So definitely seeing the kids more than twice a month, just every month is a little different. Okay, so our fire police, is Nick and Brenda still on the call?
Oh, it's just me. Nick had to go to another meeting.
Okay.
Community trends, I think just the increase of drug-related overdoses. You know, and seeing new batches come in, you can definitely tell when there's new stuff coming through.
Right. Officer Johnson, do you have any community trends, anything you're noticing in the community or with youth within the school district?
Nothing at this time. I think it's been pretty status quo. I'd have to get with Carba and them to find out what they're looking at or what they've been seeing.
Officer Johnson, I'm going to put you on the spot real quick. Sorry. Can you talk more about the Airway Heights and Cheney Police Department, the mental health co-responders?
So we have two clinicians that are, one works in Airway Heights and the other one works in Cheney. They are to respond to anyone who is in crisis. That can be anything from drugs, alcohol, addiction, any kind of mental issues, homelessness. There's just a huge broad spectrum that's there that they're available for to assist with getting them services, offering services, see what's available, see how we can help them. I'll just relate one of the stories we had out in Cheney was we had a subject out there. He was struggling from sleep deprivation. This was causing him to have hallucinations, manic episodes. Things were coming after him, different things. We ended up figuring out that I just forgot the word he has a machine that helps him sleep at night. And we found out that it wasn't working. We were able to go down to the Chaz clinic, get him set up with services. They were able to help him get his unit fixed so that he was able to get back on a sleep pattern, which this in turn stopped Cheney PD from having to go there. I think they were averaging, and I'm not for sure, I want to say like sometimes twice a week to assist with his mental issues and some of the anxiety and stuff that he was having from not getting any sleep. So that's what they're here to do. Those two clinicians are here in that place. Cheney has one clinician, her name is Noelle. She is assigned to whatever officer is working that day, and they go out. She goes with them on calls. They go specific to crisis. And then our second clinician is Jenny. She is assigned to the Airway Heights. Further in the future, we will have one full-time assigned officer with Jenny, and they will be able to cover like the West Plains. When I first started with this, we got a program up and running. We were able to assist the county with calls that were out on the West Plains and respond to those crises and help deputies get them freed back up so they could go handle other calls for like domestic violence or family disputes or whatever would come up. They're able to go to those. So that's kind of what it is. We are working, we'll have two fully upfitted vehicles. They will be white. They will say on the back West Plains Crisis Response Team, and on the side of the car it says CRT. They're a white SUV, looks like a white Explorer. So hopefully they'll stand out and they'll be noticeable. So if you see those kind of vehicles, that's what those are.
Thank you for sharing that. I just thought of it as we were coming to this this share out, and I always see posts on your guys's on the Airway Heights Police Department Facebook with you and the co-responders, and I just haven't really like asked you how that's going or heard much besides your Facebook posts for your department. So I appreciate you sharing that out with us. And
any other questions about that?
Seems like it's an amazing resource to have in the community.
Yeah, I would just be curious, what have you seen in terms of the relationships between the officers and the crisis responders? Has that been notable? Just that interaction, that dynamic.
Well, do you mean between when they respond to people, like they follow up with them and stuff like that? Is that what you're talking about?
Like, have you received feedback from both the crisis responders and the officer on duty, like what that has been like to collaborate, have that type of collaboration now?
Oh, that's actually, so one of the things that's really great about that is, so let's say that one of our officers or Cheney officers respond to a call in the middle of the night. They'll fill out a form, they'll send it to the clinicians. The clinicians will actually follow up on that person. So if they're still, let's say that they were actually sent to the hospital for assistance, they were still down there and they hadn't been released yet, but let's say, oh, they have a tentative day, they're going to be home on Wednesday. So the clinician will make a note, and they'll actually grab one of the officers, they'll go out and they'll do follow-up with that person to make sure that they're getting constant services. Are they following up with their counselors? You know, those kind of things that they're trying to help them get through so they can kind of stay on task. So they're not constantly calling for fire or for us for a crisis or overdose or whatever. And doing that, we've been able to see some positive reinforcement between us and officers. Even if they're not on duty, they're able to see that follow-up, and that helps reduce our contact stuff. And they do things like, if we go and visit with someone and they're like, hey, I need to go to services, we'll actually load them up in the car and take them wherever they need to go get services, Frontier, to the hospital, whatever their preference is, which is super helpful. And that also takes time that the officers aren't stuck helping that person out of that crisis, to where now they have a clinician who understands and can talk to them, who can help them with some of the things that they're going on mentally and physically. Explain, yeah, this is normal. Yeah, this is part of, you know, going through withdrawals from alcohol or going through withdrawals from drugs, or, hey, you stopped your medication that the doctor put you on for whatever. So this has been a huge benefit. But the nice part about it is that there is that referral form. So even if the clinician's out on another call, that referral form gets put through to everybody else. And then they follow up, which is super helpful, because then you're having people who are following up with these people and they see more than just the officer side of, we show up, it's a crisis, we ship them on an ambulance, or we get them help at the time, or they make it through whatever, but they get that follow-up step, which I think is a huge positive reinforcement. And Cheyenne is one of the officers down at Cheney that works with Noel. So that's, she could talk more about that too, to see how that's going with their department now.
That's awesome. It sounds really proactive, very person-centered, efficient. Really cool.
Anything else?
That was all for me.
Thank you, Officer Johnson. I appreciate you sharing that out with us.
Absolutely.
All right, so next up on our agenda, I wanted to talk a little bit about our community assessment tool that we, as a coalition across Washington State, all of our coalitions in the state do this at their coalition meetings in October. So we're going to take some time today to do this during our meeting, because it seems easier to kind of capture you and to work on it. But I think we're just going to email it out, trusting that we will get results back. So, but what the coalition assessment tool is it's a really great look at how we are working as a coalition, what are our strengths, what we need to work on, and things that we could do better. And so I just wanted to show you this really quickly, because I will email it out to you after our meeting, and ask that you send it back to me, download it, save it, fill it out. It will be a fillable PDF. Fill it out and then email it back to me by the end of October. And so the nice thing about it is it does just have this option right here where you can click and it'll give you disagree, agree, you know, those kind of things. So if you don't mind, it is like 60 questions, which seems like a lot, but you kind of get through them really quick. For newer members or newer people on the call, I would still love to have, like Megan, I would still love to have your feedback on this, even though you're like, maybe most of your answers are, I have no idea. I don't know. But it'll just give us a good kind of look at what our coalition has been doing and ways we can improve. Any questions on that? Okay, so we will probably get out of this meeting a little early today because we had scheduled in some time to work on that, but we're going to skip over that today. So here are some other things that the coalition is working on this month. We have our community survey up and running. Our goal is to collect 215 surveys by November 15th. And we will be running this every other year now instead of every year. This is not a survey that our coalition puts together. It is given to us by the state and expected per our grant that we collect this many community surveys. It also gives us a great look at what our adults in our community are seeing, or their perceptions on youth use, where youth are getting substances, whether they lock up their medications. So it gives us a really great look at our community and then helps guide us in how we are interacting with our community members and getting information and education to them.
Hey, Jessica, how close are we to the 215?
Debbie, that is a great question. And we only get updates every month from the state. And our last update, we should be close to getting another one. The last update was kind of early-ish September. Like we hadn't, what I didn't do is I didn't share out the survey right away when we got it because of the Gray Fire and all of the tragedy that the community was going through. And I just thought, we're going to push this survey out. So technically we were pretty far behind when we got that early September number. But I'm not really worried about it. We'll be able to share out the community survey. I've shared it out with all of our elementary schools, our middle schools, our high school, posted on lots of community Facebook. We'll share out at our take back event next weekend. So I feel like we'll get there, but it might be a little slower. So thank you, good question. So also what we're doing as a coalition for the month of October, we're participating in the trunk or treat Friday, October 27th, 5 to 7 p.m. at EWU in P12. That's their free parking lot up top. And that's in partnership with the Cheney Members Association. Is anybody else attending on the call? Crystal with the library, right? Perfect. Awesome. That'll be a pretty fun event, and some of our youth from the prevention club will be there helping as well.
Yeah, and they said to expect 400 to 500 attendees. So
that's awesome. That's a lot of kids. I'll be handing out community surveys to the parents. We have our take back event Saturday, October 28th, and from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Airway Heights Walmart. So since our last meeting, that location has changed from the Airway Heights Yokes to Airway Heights Walmart. And our partners are the Airway Heights Police Department, Airway Heights Fire Department, District 10 Fire, and of course, Walmart. Oh, sorry. So we will, as a coalition, be starting a family resource newsletter. Debbie, Crystal, and I have started a small work group to kind of work on this project. And we do want to open it up to anyone else on the call if they're interested in this family resource newsletter. We have spoken with Kim Leffler and feel like our elementary schools have a monthly newsletter that goes out to families. And not sure, Megan, does Cheney Middle School do a monthly newsletter?
Yeah, we send, maybe not monthly, but every couple months we do a newsletter.
Okay, perfect. What we were thinking about doing is kind of guiding our information toward middle school, high school parents. And the monthly newsletter will basically have a focused topic for just that month. So like, for example, if we were talking about social media safety, we would give some information on social media and some action items that they could implement now. And it would be directly focused toward that one specific topic. The school district has offered to help get that information out to parents via Facebook or email or email. So definitely elementary school parents could also see that if it was on the Facebook.
Thank you.
So if you're interested in helping with that monthly newsletter or being a part of that small work group, you can just email me or put it in the chat or let me know right now. We are promoting our Starts With One campaign, which is designed to inform and educate adults, youth, kids on the dangers of prescription drug misuse and the importance of safe storage, use, and disposal. So we do always partner this with our Take Back events. One thing I forgot to mention at our Take Back event, we will be handing out free medication lock boxes and locking pouches to community members. And we already have Officer Johnson, I think, has a whole tub that we were going to use for Airway Heights days. They're all stuffed and ready to go with information. Yeah. So what else are we doing? We have, I think, Leticia, Officer Carbaugh, Terrence, and I did attend that leadership conference over the weekend. Terrence talked a little bit about that earlier. Leticia and myself presented on the brain and how substances can affect specific parts of the brain. The youth were given Play-Doh, and so they kind of got to mold their brain as we went. So that was a pretty fun activity. Majority of our group was middle school students. And then Terrence and Officer Carbaugh presented on your digital footprint and educated youth and adults in the room on social media safety. So that presentation went good. So there's just a fun little picture of us. We couldn't find Terrence, so we just did the three of us, that picture. And then Terrence also talked a little bit about the presentations that we'll be doing in partnership with Westwood. And we do have those scheduled for November 2nd, 9th, and 16th with their 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. We'll be presenting during either science or social studies, depending on the grade. So that's a great opportunity for us and the officer to be in front of students and get that information and education out to them. Some upcoming trainings. We have, well, not us, but if anyone is interested in attending, there is a Strengthening Families Program facilitator training. So Strengthening Families is one of our evidence-based programs that we implement as a coalition. And so we do, when we are providing this program, to provide the program with fidelity, we only use trained facilitators. So I know Donnie Miller, he's a counselor at Cheney Middle School. He's interested in taking this training. Debbie is interested in getting recertified because I think maybe it's been a few years since she moved and then came back. I'm a trained facilitator. Leticia is a trained facilitator. So the more trained facilitators you have in your community, it's just easier to host those family programs and to fill in as needed. We also sometimes help out other community coalitions when they're hosting their Strengthening Families program with being trained facilitators. So this training is an in-person training for new facilitators or facilitators that need to be trained again. And it will be November 15th, 16th, and 17th from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. And it looks like they're holding it at the ESD up on the South Hill. So does anybody have any questions about Strengthening Families Facilitator program? This is, like I said, our program, one of our evidence-based programs that we implement, and we always serve dinner to families and offer free childcare. It is a 7-week program, and it is for parents and youth ages 10 to 15. This is
I'll
also
put in a quick plug, Jessica, if you don't mind.
Go for
So
it.
I've been trained in 3 different parenting programs, and this is by far the best. It's just so good and so well done, and the material, it just brings families together. A lot of parenting classes are really focused on the parents, but this is a Strengthening Families program, and so it gets the kids involved, and it has the parents and the kids working together, and I just think it's a phenomenal program.
Thanks, Debbie.
I do have a question. So you're saying that if somebody was a trained facilitator, that they would facilitate a 7-week program, is that correct?
Yeah, so it's there are multiple different sessions. So in each session, there's a parent facilitator, and there's a youth facilitator, and then there's a family facilitator. So basically it's a team of 3 providing a 7-week program. So you're never alone. You're with other trained facilitators for 7 weeks. Does that make sense, Anna?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's a free training. And then when we implement the program, the coalition has set aside funds to pay facilitators to facilitate.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense, because
Okay.
it sounds interesting. I just I seen the 7-week and I was like, oh wait, like I don't know if I'd be able to do that.
Well, and so it's 1 day a week for 7 weeks.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes more sense.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
just saw that. I literally copied this from their website. And yeah,
Okay.
so 1 night a week for 7
That
weeks.
makes more sense. I was
Yeah.
like, wait a second, how is somebody supposed to work and be able to do this?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that sounds
Yeah.
really interesting. I like that.
Yeah. So yeah, if anyone is interested in becoming a facilitator, like I said, it's a free training. It is 3 days during the day, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. But once you're trained in that, then once we implement, you could be part of a 3-person team implementing the evidence-based program 1 night a week for 7 weeks.
All right. Do you know what days of the week those training days are?
November 15th through 17th. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay. I might actually be able to do that.
Cool. Yeah, just connect with me after the meeting sometime, Anna, and I can send you the link for registration.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
yeah.
Jessica, did you say that that's open to anybody?
It is open to anybody.
Okay, and are there like limited spaces, or how, like, I'm just wondering, maybe some of the therapists in my agency might be interested as well, including me.
Oh, okay. I
work?
will, Jen, I don't know exactly what their limit. I would imagine, Leticia, what do you think? 20 people? Feel like we went to a training, there's about 20.
When I had mine, I think there was 10 to 12. So I think it just depends how many trainers there are. So if there's like one trainer, like I think 20 would be a lot. But if there's more than one trainer, I don't know.
I think there's 3 trainers this time.
Oh, then yeah, I'm sure 20 is probably.
Jen, I will definitely send you the information that you can pass along.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And do you
So
know?
it's in Spokane? Sorry.
It is an in-person in Spokane.
Okay, it's because it said North Central and then it said ESD 101 and then I was like, wait, is it in Spokane?
Yeah,
Okay.
so it is in Spokane. Originally, they were going to do it at the WSU Extension building. So I'm wondering if that's why they have North. I don't. Yeah, this was off the Athena Forum. So I will get the correct information and make sure I get that to you.
Is
I
this
feel
like
like
a
this should.
national, is this a national evidence-based program or is this
Yeah,
just Washington? Okay.
This is a national evidence-based program.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a question. So is this kind of like the Strength at Home with the VA?
I am not familiar with that program, Cassandra. Leticia, are you?
No, I'm not that. No.
Oh, it's kind of like a trauma-informed program for veterans who struggle with conflicts in their relationships. And they just kind of work with them to help strengthen their families. I was just considering if this is what that
It's
is
not
similar to.
that. I don't think it's that because this program, like in order for it to like work, like you need to have your children there and it's, yeah, so I don't know. I've never heard of the one with the VA, so that's interesting though. But there is a lot of programs that are called strengthening families. I think DCYF also has something similar, but it's not the same program, so there could be another one.
Okay.
I might actually know people that are interested in taking the training itself, like the family, not being a facilitator, but actually bringing their family and doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Does it cost anything to do this training?
If you are a family wanting to take the program, it's absolutely free. We do free dinner, all supplies are free, childcare is free, everything is completely free for families. They just have to get themselves there.
Okay, and
Wherever we end up. We haven't planned it out. The last 2 years, we've partnered with the Heights Church in Airway Heights and hosted in their building. This year, I've had conversations with Cheney Middle School counseling department to maybe host the program within the school building and have one of their counselors as one of our trained facilitators, and that would help with recruitment and retention and everything. But we have not planned any time or any location yet. And usually as a coalition, we implement late winter to early spring. Just
yeah,
for
they're just talking. I'm good.
just for facilitators time, that's just what has worked out.
Okay, I'm definitely interested in getting more information about this when you guys do get the information on it.
Perfect. Yeah, we always share out at coalition meetings and send out flyers for our members to share out as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And so we, let's see, we are also attending the Washington State Prevention Summit, which is next week in Spokane. Normally, the Washington State Prevention Summit is hosted in Yakima. So this is their first time being in Spokane. And we've been virtual for 3-4 years, something like that. So we were so excited that Washington State Prevention Summit is in our side of the mountains. So we have 18 total people from our community that the coalition has supported in attending this 2-day training. So we have myself, Leticia, Terrence, and Debbie, plus 9 of our H-cubed, our high school health helpers members will be attending. From Three Springs High School, we have Travis, he's a counselor, and Sheila is an MSW intern, and 3 of their students. So that's super exciting for our little community to have 18 people attending that prevention summit. So Debbie Gerber, congratulations on volunteering to be our coalition's co-chair. Yay, thank you. That position has been empty for probably since Debbie left. So thanks, Debbie, appreciate you. We're still looking for a secretary if anyone has the need to be our secretary. What that would look like is meet outside of the monthly coalition meeting in our leadership meeting, which right now is Crystal, Debbie, and myself, to help plan the agenda and guest speakers. And you'd be the lucky one to take notes at our monthly meeting, which I have been doing today. It's not very well, so I'm gonna have to go back and redo that. So if you have interest in that, just let me know. And our next meeting will be Tuesday, November 21st. Also a Zoom meeting, same link, but I will make sure that I send that out, that link ahead of time. If you don't have it on your calendar and you would like it, just email me and I can forward you all the rest of the school year meetings. And that is it. Any questions, comments, anything that maybe you want more information on or have suggestions for? Jen?
Jessica, I just sent you a chat with a link. If you're okay with sharing that out to the group, in my small group with my agency yesterday, we learned from another clinician about a resource that some people might already be aware of, but some people might be familiar with the process of just finding a therapist, and it can be exhausting, very challenging, lots of barriers, lots of time. So there is either this existing resource that we didn't know about or a new resource, who knows? And it's put on by the Seattle Children's Hospital, and they have referrals. They have a referral service. So if this number is called or you reach them via online, they will assist people with that very process and even follow up with them to see if that therapist that they were connected to was successful and a good fit. And if not, they'll even follow up and help find a different therapist. So that seems
I've
like
actually used that
service. How is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's great. The issue I had was that the therapist that my daughter got set up with just kind of stopped going to the calls. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, the service itself though, the Seattle, that is a really great service, especially for parents who don't have a whole lot of time to call all these different offices, and they let you know, hey, if you've got issues, you can come back and we'll find you somebody else.
Okay, that's great to have feedback from someone who's actually done this. So yeah, and it, you know, as we therapists it can be tricky to maintain that relationship. So, but that's really cool that they follow up. Cool.
Thank you, Jen. I did put it in the chat so others can click on it and open up and see the link. So I appreciate you sharing that. And this is exactly what this coalition is for. So I have been sending invites and stuff like that with all of your email addresses blind, so you can't see, or however, if you ever have anything that you would like to share out with the group, just email me and I can forward it out to everyone. That's not a problem. So if you have an event like Crystal from the library, she will send us events sometimes that we share out. Yeah, so if you ever have anything like that you want to share out with the group, just feel free. All right, everyone. Oh, Cassandra, did you have something?
Yes. I just wanted to let everybody know, because I noticed there's a lot of people from Cheney in here today. We had started the Kalispell Tribe Victim Assistance Services. We started an MOU with Eastern Washington University. So now we have an office inside of Eastern Washington as well. That's where I'm currently at right now. It's in the Hargraves building next to the SAS office. So we're now in Cheney as well.
That's great, Cassandra. I'm just taking notes on that so I don't forget that. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Of course.
Cassandra, do you have like a flyer or like information that like says that like, oh, we're located at Hargraves? Just because I know when I was at the Cheney High School, like a lot, sometimes we would refer students and the school counselors would refer students, but I don't know if they know that there's also an office in Cheney.
We currently don't have, we're still in the process of trying to change our flyers around because we still have to update some, but as soon as I get some, I can email Jessica.
Okay.
And then also want to announce that we're not just strictly for Native or Kalispell, or we're open to everybody. Because a lot of people think we're just open to Natives and just Kalispell employees, but we're not. We're open to the community. We just require that you're a victim of a crime. And we do not require police reports.
Good to know. That's awesome. All right, I think with that, I'm going to call our meeting to an end. And so just as a reminder, I will be emailing you our coalition assessment tool and asking for you to complete that so that I can implement record that information. Please answer to your best knowledge. Nothing is going to hurt anyone's feelings. And I appreciate you all being here on the meeting, and I hope that you have a great Tuesday. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, question.
Yeah.
Are you, I didn't want to ask the group, are you planning, or I know Luke is always bothering you about DC?
Yes.
Are we, because I know I have like extra money, right, like to go, so like if you were going, I could use my money to go to that training instead of, since the one that got canceled in November.
Oh yeah.
So like that would just be like one less person you would have to buy. And I know like Luke is like, well, when we go, and I'm like, I don't know if like you're going.
I know, and I told him, so technically I have no extra funds to do
That's what I thought. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that's one reason why I pushed so hard to try and get people to go to the prevention summit.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't offer this year for like that what do you call it, like where I could apply the extra
mm-hmm.
money. They didn't
mm-hmm.
have any of that.
Are they losing money? I feel like there's rumors.
You know, Kirsten's like, we probably won't even have jobs next year. And I'm like, no, they can't do that. Like,
no. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah. So,
yeah.
And I was just wondering, just because I'm like, okay, like if you do plan on going, then like just to plan like the same time or like the same flights or whatever, right. Just because I have funds now to do that. But
yeah.
Because I can't find any other training that kind of relates to my work.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing,
Okay.
nothing, unless another coalition had money. But I think the majority of us went full time this year, which took up a chunk of money, which is why Kirsten thinks that they offered all of these coalitions full time because then they're going to get rid of us next year. And I was like, what?
Wow.
Why would they do that? I don't know.
Would they do, I don't know, with the SAPs also, are they losing money?
I don't know, but like for this 2-tiered contract. right? Like if they got rid of
Yeah.
coalition coordinators, they'd have to get rid of the SAPs.
I don't think so. I just think there can't be a coalition without an SAP, because there was SAPs before there was coalitions. Remember because Cheney had one. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
I think from then, like if they did lose money, like the schools would have the option to like buy them out. Like, cause like if Cheney had money to like support an SAP on their own, then I'm sure they would, because they wouldn't like, I don't know, like they would already have all the information.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, so who knows? But I'm
Mhm.
like, why would they redo Minerva and like have to teach every coalition coordinator,
Mhm.
go through that whole process and then get rid of them the next year?
I know.
So I don't know. I kind of am like, I don't know. Ooh, are we still recording? We are. Oh my gosh. I was like, oh wait, how do I turn this off?
I don't know.
Not letting me.
I think you have to stop it. Yeah, we can just talk later.
Okay. Oh wait, stop, pause.